This is the Orioles Postcast, your instant game reaction for the Baltimore Orioles. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Good evening, everyone, and thank you for joining me here late on this Friday night. This is the Baltimore Orioles Postcast. My name is Luke Slabaugh. I want to say thank you so much for joining me here. Unfortunately, not the result that we wanted. Houston Astros take game 2 of this 4-game set on this Friday night, 10-7 the final. Orioles Postcast, if you're new here, hi, like, subscribe. We've got content every day here on Locked On, covering your favorite teams. Connor Newcomb hosting The Daily Show, Monday through Friday, and I am filling in the gaps on the postgame show. Credit where credit is due. Interim manager Tony Mansolino has this team playing meaningful, excited baseball against competitive teams here in late August. They have not rolled over and died. I'm not dead yet, Monty Python, if you will. However, there comes a time where the frustration is palpable. This was supposed to be an exciting day for the fan base. We saw Samuel Basallo get a standing ovation a couple times at Camden Yards, celebrating his 8-year contract extension, the first of the Mike Elias era. And yet, there are a lot of missed chances and fundamental baseball errors that have happened the last few days that leave a lot to be desired. The Orioles send out left-hander Cade Povich to compete, having come off a 10-strikeout outing in relief. And quickly, the outing disassembles. Relatively quickly.
This is what you'll be talking about.
Had a whole tangent yesterday about Jackson Holliday and what defensive miscues are grinding my gears. And we saw it in the top of the third. Cade Povich, not out of Holliday, mind you, but out of this Orioles defense in general. Cade Povich has had this noteworthy struggle this season about falling apart in the third inning of every outing. And even when he has an opener like Rico Garcia, the fourth inning rolls around if Rico's got that 1-inning buffer in there, and the splits do speak for themselves, whether it's the end of the first time through the lineup or going through that second time. It has been rough. Now a 7.71 ERA in the third inning. Yikes. Cloudy with the chance of yikes, and it is the subject of tonight's Turning Point.
Time to reveal where the game was won or lost. It's the Turning Point.
Scoreless game top 3, Mauricio Dubon leads off with a walk. Credit to Povich going 3-0 to 3-2, but having trouble commanding the zone, which was unfortunate given the way that he started this game. I mean, top of the first had a 12-pitch first inning, went 1-2-3, then struck out the side in the second. Got Ramon Urias to finish it, striking out on a sinker outside. Cade Povich has to dig into his arsenal, use a little bit more of his pitches, and ramp up his pitch count when he's throwing strikeout stuff. But Dubon walks, which is inauspicious to say the least. Cam Smith then hits a ground ball to Luis Vasquez at third base, who is filling in for Jordan Westburg, now on the injured list. Hitting 8th tonight, Vasquez was. And the throw is offline. It is high, and Kobe Mayo can't corral it and bring it down in time to slap the tag on Cam Smith. So you got runners on first and second. Chas McCormick then at the plate lays down a sacrifice bunt. Povich fields, does not square his shoulders properly, and throws it wild. Dubon comes in and scores, makes it 1-0. That's one error. Then leaves a hanging curveball to Jeremy Pena. And those Astros, they love the short porch. Hits it over the left field fence for a 3-run bomb. Earl Weavered the Earl Weavers to make it 4-0. So it's the walk and the home run that doom Povich in an inning, that he doesn't give up anything else. 26 pitches in the inning before he gets an out. Gets Jose Altuve to ground out into a 6-4-3 double play. And that's Christian Walker to strike out on a changeup. But 33 pitches to get through that third frame. 2 earned runs there against Povich out of 4 total given up. Then the top of the 5th, Povich gets 2 quick outs. At this point, the score of the game was 4-3. He had just gotten backed up by Jeremiah Jackson and some others there in the bottom half of the 4th. Needs a shutdown inning. 4-3 score. And can't quite get out of this inning. Walks Carlos Correa with 2 walks. Jose Altuve then squares up a sinker middle, hits it to left field. Brings in right-hander Yennier Cano. 4 2/3 is the final end of the line for Cade Povich. And Cano makes his presence felt very early. 2 changeups to Christian Walker. One of them is high. And Walker also takes it to left center field for a 3-run bomb to put the Astros up 7-3. And they wouldn't look back from there. Cano then walks Yainer Diaz as well and takes a minute for him to get out of the jam and for the Orioles bullpen to string together something respectable as they drop this game 10-7. We'll get into the offensive side. The Orioles did have some encouraging things on that side of the ball, but a lot of missed chances. We talked about how those 2 errors would definitely spell doom for the Orioles, and it happened as well at the plate. So we'll talk about that. The O's, they go 3 for 14 with runners in scoring position, leave 11 on, and we'll talk about that right after the break. This is the Locked On Orioles postcast. Big shout out to the sponsor of this video. It's 5-Hour Energy Transfusion. Fuel up with the grape ginger and lime flavored shot that brings the iconic taste of a golf course favorite to a non-alcoholic boost, perfect for sinking birdies. Whether you're out on the course or just need a little extra push to power through your day, 5-Hour Energy Transfusion delivers the clubhouse flavor you love without ever leaving the green. I have loved going to Topgolf all my life. The driving range, sometimes you need a little bit extra boost to get through your day. With 5-Hour Energy, we have late nights like these, 11:15 on the East Coast. Golf's all about good times with good people and good flavors. The grape ginger lime flavor of 5-Hour Energy Transfusion gives you the best parts of your clubhouse go-to without leaving the course or chasing down the beverage cart. Now you can amp up the fun even more. Just buy, snap, and enter for a chance to win a dream golf trip for 2 to any golf tournament in the U.S. Tee up that trip. Visit findhewin.com for full rules and entry. No purchase necessary. Excludes the Masters tournament. Ends October 31st, 2025. Thank you to 5-Hour Energy for sponsoring this show. Appreciate you all tuning in here late on this Friday night. Final score, the Astros 10 and the Baltimore Orioles 7. I had mentioned 2 errors from the Baltimore Orioles, and I'm trying to recollect when that second one was. Well, yeah, the 2 throwing errors. Povich airmailing that sacrifice bunt. So back-to-back errors is really what spelled that rally. And that's all she wrote. Let's talk about the offense. And Dylan Beavers continually having just a wonderful, wonderful start to his career. A 1 for 3 night with 2 walks, 2 runs scored, and unfortunately 2 strikeouts as well, but OPSing at a 981 clip. Beavers, get this, is the 13th Oriole to reach safely in each of his first 6 games, career-wise. The last person to do that, 2020's Ryan Mountcastle. So a lot in store for an on-base machine and bringing some balance to the bottom of that order. And he starts what was probably the key rally of this game, where the game was hanging in the balance in the bottom of the 6th. It was a 7-3 ball game at the time. Beaver singles to the left side on a changeup. Then Luis Vasquez hitting out of the 8 hole gets a 2-2 sweeper that he dumps into center field for his first multi-hit game. Got runners at first and second, and then Alex Jackson hits a 2-2 sweeper to left field. Orioles go station to station. They have the bases juiced. Jackson Holiday, bases loaded, first pitch swinging. They had worked Lance McCullers pretty deep into this game. And so with right-hander Sean Dubin on the mound, you thought, maybe try to take a pitch or two, but Jackson Holiday, as he is prone to, lights up on a first pitch changed low, hits a dribbler to second base. Runners tagged out at second base, Alex Jackson. A run comes home. It's 7-4. In terms of win probability added, that actually decreases the Orioles' chance to win the game. An out's recorded, but you have fewer outs to work with as the game goes along. So while the score is 7-4, you wish that Jackson would have waited to have gotten his. Jeremiah Jackson on the other hand, works the count to 1-2 and then gets a high fastball in the zone that all he can do is hit it to first base, which brings home another run. He sacrifices himself on the ground out to make it 7-5. And by that point, the Orioles have 2 runs scored in the inning, but 2 outs. Missed opportunity to get a hit with runners in scoring position there. Gunnar Henderson then faces left-hander Stephen Okert and strikes out on a slider, 3 pitches to get him up and down. We mentioned Dylan Beavers kickstarting that rally. Did the same in the bottom of the fourth. Mayo and Beavers walk back-to-back, and Beavers going from 0-2 to 3-2 against right-hander Lance McCullers Jr. 1 out later, Alex Jackson hits a knuckle curve into left field for his first single base hit as an Oriole. All he had been doing was hitting extra base hits or striking out, and striking out at an unreasonable clip of 38%. Makes it a 4-1 ballgame. Jackson Holiday grounds out, and then Jeremiah Jackson, first pitch slider, inside outs it into the right center field gap. Cam Smith trailing it from right field. He reaches out his glove, goes in and out of the glove into the right field wall. It scores 2, and Jeremiah Jackson, all he is doing is hitting. Ever since he has come up to the big leagues, has been had great exit velocity off the bat, good bat to ball skills, a 2-for-5 night, which gets him a 327 average. And in 17 games, has 18 big league hits. Pretty nicely done. I'm thinking super utility infielder for him coming up. Couple other bombs to talk about. Bottom 7, Colton Cowser with 1 out and right-hander Enyel De Los Santos on. Gets a 2-2 fastball high at 97. We mentioned the pitch recognition issues for Cowser. He belts this one to right field, made it 7-6, the closest the Orioles would get this late in the game. Beavers walks with 2 outs. Sadly, not a great situation for a pinch hitter, but that is when Samuel Basayo comes to the plate to pinch hit for Luis Vasquez. Gets a great ovation and a hand from the crowd after signing that extension. Strikes out on 3 pitches, the changeup sending him down. And then the bottom of the 8th, some bad history. The Orioles use their 63rd player of the season. It's Vimael Machine. Utility infielder, was tearing the cover off the ball in spring training. Former Cubs draft pick, VCU Ram legend. First pitch he sees from right-hander Caleb Ort. His first pitch as an Oriole. Fastball, 93 right over the plate. Wasted no time. Cranks it to center field, 108 off the bat for a solo shot. Made it a 10-7 ball game, and that was our final score tonight. For one brief moment in time, Vimael Machine was hitting at a 5,000 OPS clip. And he and Beavers both hit home runs in their first plate appearance at Camden Yards. There was another name rolled out there on the broadcast. 2005, Jeff Fiorentino was the last person to home run for the O's in his first Camden Yards plate appearance. Javi Lopez did it a year prior. Former Atlanta Braves catching great. You might be asking yourself, how are all these players getting on the roster? Well, Felix Bautista, now on the 60-day injured list. Right-hander Brandon Young goes to the IL with a left hamstring strain. Matt Bowman up in his place, the right-hander, who last pitched on July 1st prior to tonight. Had a 1-2-3 inning there in the 5th, and then things kind of spiraled after that. Excuse me, in the 6th. No, it wasn't that either. It was, let me go back. Let me do the math. Yeah, it was the 7th. And then only got through a third of the inning before Corbin Martin came on. Kind of jumbled tonight. And Jordan Westberg also on the 10-day injured list with a right ankle sprain, which led to Machine coming up. The O's carry on. And they have a 7:05 first pitch tomorrow on Masson. Right-hander Dean Kramer against right-hander Christian Javier. The O's were able to work some good things against Javier, who left early due to sickness there at Daikin Park. Probably not the same issue or the same thing plaguing him tomorrow if the O's can get on top of him and his pitching. First extension of the Mike Elias era in the books, and Samuel Basayo didn't have much to show for it tonight, 0 for 2. Couple of strikeouts and some runners left on. The O's leave 11 on and go 3 for 4 with runners in scoring position. If they can capitalize on a couple of these, they probably win this game. Looking forward to tomorrow, maybe a chance to make this an even split 2-2 series. And that'll do it for tonight's Orioles postcast. Thanks for staying up late. Final score, the Houston Astros 10 and the Baltimore Orioles 7. Good night. Stay safe. I'll see you right back here tomorrow night.